Let's hear what Chris Walker has to say about getting more likes on LinkedIn.
Feels like you've hit like a high but steady equilibrium around 200 to 600 likes per post. Do you feel like you just found your happy place and you're like, I just don't need to get to 1,000 likes and then 2,000 likes and then 3,000 likes? So how do you think about that game?
So the best part about this, you could almost read Chris's mind just by the look on his face, that grin right now. I already know how he's going to reply.
Who the fuck cares about likes? Who cares? Right?
Everyone.
Just because I like can say like, oh, here's a story about how like this person did something. It's probably just made up and all. It's so generic that I can get and then I can use my engagement pod so I can get 3,000 likes so I can go home and feel better about myself.
So I totally agree with Chris. And what I really like is like this fresh perspective, drop an F-bomb every once in a while. But Chris clearly is not just looking at things through the lens of an agency. He's not just looking at it as refined labs anymore. Now that he is growing a SaaS company with Paceto, I could tell there's a much more holistic approach to looking at marketing. And yeah, agencies want to kind of woo prospects with, hey, we got more likes or views. But at the end of the day, that shit doesn't really matter. What matters is who is engaging with the content, whether it's a view, a video completion, a like, a comment, a repost. Now, I wouldn't discredit that and say it doesn't matter how many you get. It really is about quality over quantity, because if you're really studying the engagements and you're not being overly salesy with your follow-up, but you're looking at who is engaging with the content and then thanking people for a repost, or when they're commenting, comment back, and then take the opportunity to build that social relationship. I personally have built social relationships and then gone to trade shows and had people say like, hey, I've seen your videos everywhere, or hey, you remember that conversation that we had on LinkedIn? And that is such an easy in to a great relationship, simply because you're going through that motion of putting thought leadership content out there and focusing on metrics that matter, and not just trying to drive certain metrics that may appease a marketer, but really taking a step back and thinking of this also from the business development standpoint or the relationship development standpoint.